Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to Pure Rap Podcast. This is another video that we're doing. I was about to say episode 47, but we're not doing episode 47. We're doing the part 2 of 5 albums that made me love hip hop.
We love hip hop, yeah.
Yep. So I know a lot of you guys watched, Caleb, Keb, whatever you want to call him, his first video. He did it about I want to say 2 weeks ago. We released it. Just pretty much we wanted to get more content out there, and he came up to us, was like, hey, let's talk about like 5 albums that made us love hip-hop. We were gonna just do one at a time, but it makes it easier to just Caleb can knock his out, me and Darnell can hop on, knock ours out. So I'm definitely gonna have that in the link or after the video, so you could just click on Caleb's. If you guys watch this one first, then you could just watch that one right after. We're definitely going to come with more, like a whole series of these. I'm just going to say in the beginning, 5 albums. The next video, we're actually going to do 2 videos today. Then we're going to do 5 mixtapes. Because I know me and Darneezy were talking about that earlier. We're like, damn, I had some mixtapes we want to fit in, but we're like,
shit, album mixtapes. Yeah, it's like I kind of started paving the way, started going into mixtapes early. Albums I started getting into later on though, but.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah, so it's always good, especially when you got so much. We're like, all right, we'll just do 5 albums, make another video for 5 mixtapes. So you'll see us first. Then after we do the mixtapes, Caleb is going to do his own video for mixtapes, and then I'll put that up, so that'll be last. So it's pretty much just going, Kev did the albums first, us two doing the mixtapes, Kev doing the mixtapes next. So it's just going to go in that order. So you'll just see these uploaded. Of course, we're not live, so we're going to be uploading them. And then after that, we're going to be doing different ones. I thought of 5 verses, you know what I mean? Like 5 of our favorite verses from a specific artist, 5 of our, favorite songs, that made us love hip-hop.
Producers.
Just a whole series. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just a series of stuff in hip-hop that just, that made us love it. Like why we even do this, you know what I mean? So, sure, man. You got anything else to say before we get into this, man? I know this was a tough one, just to even come up with. So many albums out there,
On a short notice, just thinking about projects. Yeah, projects that you that you love listening to, or just like that made you just kind of love and attached to the music with hip hop. There's a lot of great projects, a lot of great MCs. And then it's kind of ways it benefits your life too, in a way. And it's just kind of like music that can hold on to you, for so long, forever. So
like what left the impact, what left that impact on you, like what made you be like, oh damn, like this is the one. Because some of these that I was talking about, it doesn't gotta be my all-time favorite list is different than these are just 5 albums that made us love hip-hop. I could choose a whole nother 5 albums that made me love it. I could go on forever with this, but sometimes you got what are the ones because I have some albums that I rank higher than some of these on my list, but it's different. I rank them in different ways. Some of these ones left, I have memories with, you know what I mean? Actual reasons of why I chose these, you know what I mean? Compared to an album that might be in my all time, just because I think, it's like for instance, Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. That's one of my all time, that's in my top 5 all time favorite albums of hip hop. But I didn't choose this for this because I got on it late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it kind of didn't benefit you at the time.
Yeah,
it didn't hit you at the time.
I'm just going through the old the archives of hip hop, and then I listened to this album. And I'm like, oh, this is top album. But it at the time when I was listening to it, I was listening to a whole bunch of hip hop. You know what I mean? So it had a whole nother it didn't impact me like that at that moment. But shoot, man. I guess I'll start things off. Let's get it. All right, so my first, my number. We're going down from 5 to 1. My first one is Did Prez, Let's Get Free. Put it right up here. And I know I spoke about this album a few times on the podcast.
I heard it. Yeah, the only person I know that talk about it. Did Prez.
Yeah, so man, the thing with this album, let people know, Did Prez is a duo. A lot of people probably know him just from the song, Hip Hop is Bigger Than Hip Hop. like super popular song. They were on that Block Party, documented with Dave Chappelle from back in the days when he had the whole Block Party with like Mos Def, Talib, Kanye, etc., where he did the party on the block, I believe in like Brooklyn, whatever. But yeah, bro, like so back then, like Mos Def, Talib, Kanye, Common, etc. A lot of them used to go around in the same studio where they used to record, like around this time, So a lot of them were cool with each other. So that's why, especially with that conscious music and stuff like that, like they were all around each other. Just kind of giving a history lesson. But with this album, it came out in the 2000s, and for me, I only knew about the song. You know what I mean? Like it's bigger than hip hop. And I remember hearing the song as a kid, and I was like, oh, this is dope. I never even knew who these people were. I never listened to the album. I probably I want to say 2000. This is like literally not that long ago, but probably like 2017, 2018. Like I wasn't listening to a whole lot of hip hop back then. Like I wasn't searching for new hip hop. I wasn't just tripping. Like at that point I wasn't, because I was making my own music too, you know what I mean? That's when I started making my own. So I wasn't really like listening to nobody else. I had a whole bunch of albums saved I wasn't listening to. But then one day, but one day I came across this album and actually like listened to it fully through, and I was like, oh, I remember this song. You know what I mean? And I knew about Prez and I knew about them, but I never listened to this album, bro. And where my mindset was at that point in time was like, I was like, just kind of more into like F the system, like all that type of like, I'm trying to get my body right, trying to like exactly what they're talking about in the album is kind of what my mindset was at that point in time, right? So the album, like it just I feel like it was like meant to happen to like listen to this album, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, because like what it is like real lyricism, real music. They're talking about something, real messages. They're talking about, and this is in the 2000s, bro. They're talking about, being healthy, eating the right foods, the right things, and training your body well, bro. Like
before that time,
this is in 2000. Like before it was the cool thing to do. You know what I mean? Dude, like now, you know what I mean? Now it's like everyone, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people out here trying to sell their products and all this, so you got to find
vegan and all
vegan
that.
And et cetera, but like this is 2000, and they're talking about,
they're talking about that way back.
Yeah, they got songs about the police, songs about, like just a whole bunch of different stuff, spiritual tracks, et cetera, talking about the school system, like just real life stuff that we were talking about, the like stuff that goes in the world that affects Black people.
Yeah, that still goes on to this day. Yeah.
So, bro, this album might be more relevant today than it was back then.
Which
is crazy. So the album, when I listen to it, bro, like I know you haven't listened to this, huh? Like, bro, I'm gonna send, like, you gotta listen to this when you get the chance. Because you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. Like, I'll be trying to pit people onto this album because it's like, it's deep and it's real music. Like it's like I said, messages, real artists. They put it together so well too. Like it's very simple. Like you could understand everything that they're talking about. Or you might hear something, you're like, damn, let me look that up. Like it's that thought-provoking music. Where you like, they might say something like, oh man, let me look into that for myself. But yeah, bro, like the album, like I listened to it and then I couldn't stop listening to it after. Like it kind of got me back into listening to hip hop a lot more again. I think that was the start of me kind of digging deeper into finding like the underrated or like the artists who like are, like from 90s or different eras that, like black groups called like, like Black Moon, et cetera, Sean Price, all these like other artists who I knew of, but I never listened to. So now it was like, this was kind of like the start of me going into like the other world of hip hop, you know what I mean? Like a lot of different artists that I listen to now started because of this album, you know what I mean? So that's why I put it on my list, because it's like, it kind of got me back into listening to hip hop. Not saying hip hop was dead or anything. I just wasn't looking for any new artists or anything like that. So it kind of got me back into like happy, like, oh shit, let me go back to like find out some more artists. Like, because if I never listened to this album, there's more out there that I never heard. So I was like, just started to listen to everything after this, bro. Like going into people's catalogs and listening to this and that. So yeah, bro.
Oh yeah,
so I had
going to all the discographies. Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, so I had to like, and the thing is, I was already listening to like, I was hip hop since like middle school. You know what I mean? Like I was listening to a lot of these artists, but I wasn't never going into albums. Like I was never listening to people's full catalogs and stuff like that. So this album definitely got me to start like taking more artists like more seriously in the art. You know what I mean? And also for me too, the music I want to make and like also that thought-provoking music and things with real messages. I was like, man, there's so many dope artists out here who don't get like their shine or they just do or their flowers or things like that. So I had to, you know, I got to pick this up every time, man, because that opened the door for me, like for real. So, definitely inspiring. Helps me even with my music now. Sometimes I go back and listen to it and be like, damn, you know. But yeah, man, Prez, Let's Get Free. Everyone, I like recommend this album to everyone to go listen to. You know what I mean? Like you're for sure gonna like it. But yeah, bro, let's go into the next one. We got Darneezy's number 5. You go ahead.
Number 5. Yeah, you got Get Rich Die Trying, 50 Cent. Shoot, this is classic. Like a classic. You know, a lot of people may put that on a top, you know, top 25, top 10, you know, whatever you want to call it. But this is a good body of work. You know, that I mess with, you know, 50 Cent. This is like his debut. You know, came out in 2003. Kind of like around that time. That's when I started getting into music. You know, around the early 2000s, kind of like, you know, the middle school age. And, you know, listening to 50 Cent, just kind of hearing his background too. I mean, shoot, he was still rapping, trying to hustle. I mean, shoot, got shot 9 times and like still was able to like still make music off of that. You know, looking at his movie too, you know, when he made Get Rich Die Trying, that was a good outlook to see, you know, how he came from way back, you know, hustling from that and just getting all this nice stuff that he always wanted. You know, it was all the money, cars and the clothes and all that. And, you know, really this project is just kind of like, it give you like a little motivation and just like all that hustle mentality that he had, you know, just still trying to make it, you know, even though there's like haters watching him, haters, you know, that didn't like him. And, you know, it was crazy hard. I like the singles on here too. Like,
yeah, the classic singles like 21 Questions.
Yeah, 21 Questions. Like that was on the radio all the time.
I almost put this in my honorable mentions. I'm not gonna lie, I almost put this in my honorable mention, bro, because like that 21 Questions, bro. Like I clearly remember seeing that video when I was a kid. Like, damn, what is like? This is like, you know, what Nate Dogg. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Rest in
I know
peace
exactly the feeling that you're talking about when you heard this album, like for the first time, especially we're kids. You know what I mean? So when we heard this,
yeah, I heard that. Shoot, I was on a CD player at that time too. You know, I had my own little CD player playing it. You know, in the club. You know, that was probably like a good song. But Many Man was Many Man was that one though. That was that one that like you had to go back to. That's like everybody's like favorite track. Like just like man, just off of like just storytelling, off his like lyricism. And there it was all good and like, you know, it was just a good time for him, especially, you know, being in the G-Unit crew and all that. So, you know, those are some good tracks on that project. But I just like the whole way of like his just the body of work that it came out to be, just the way it from hits, the storytelling, basically from all that. So like it just kind of paved a way to me that made me love hip hop for that nature with him getting that charisma in his music.
Yeah.
And like it was all glory good with that. So so this is like one of your but this is one of your favorite albums though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean I think like I said, I think this is one of like the most popular albums, you know what I mean? There's a few songs, I will say the only song for me that I just don't really rock with I mean, I go back and forth, but it's Wanksta. Like Wayne, every now and then I'm
Wanksta.
like, no, because I'm like, it's not as good as I thought it was. It's just the older I get, sometimes when I listen to older songs, I'm like, it's okay. Back then though, I used to think this song was like crazy, even in the club, like certain songs, but, but it hits. It's a hit though. Like you can't take away from that. It's a hit. A hit is a hit at the end of the day. You can't take that away from them.
And then
to me, it's a lot of the songs that aren't the hits that I like. You know what I mean? Like Heat and etc. Like a whole bunch of different ones you got.
Yeah,
with, like,
Heat,
Bloodhound, like a lot of different. I think I got the name right, but yeah, there's a few songs on there that are like crazy to me.
Yeah, I forgot. You know, shoot, and he had his own, video game too to it, and it had all like his music playing in that too. So that's like, because they just posted something like that on Instagram, like all the old PS2 games.
That's
50 Cent Bulletproof.
That was a good.
It's a classic. Yeah, so this is kind of like, it got me back to like reminiscing time playing video games and listening to this project too. And I'm like,
this album definitely brings you back to like, especially our age, being in especially late 97. So like by the time this album came out, so like I'm looking at the pictures that we had, the albums that we picked. These next few albums are kind of like our introduction to like truly starting to become hip hop heads. You know what I mean? Because 2004, like we're still, I want to say, in elementary, but we were, but we knew enough. Like just from where our environment and where we're from and stuff like that to listen when we listen to these songs, you know what I mean? Like, or even like kids listen to hip hop, you know what I mean? But we just grew up in the era where it was just real rap, you know what I mean? Like, so that's all we had. Like we weren't listening to like a lot of these guys that came out now, you know what I mean?
No,
like, you had to be like just your pen game had to be good. The beat, like the beat selection, everything was like on point, and this is definitely one of those albums where it was like, it don't matter how old you were, you would listen to it, like.
You would still vibe to it, but I forgot. Just from his video games, like it just kind of was a legendary project from that to his own movie and all that. So, played in all different movies too. So just a timeless project that's gonna be played on forever.
Definitely.
It's best. And these projects that were coming up now that we talking about is kind of like the ones you picked up. It's like a couple CDs that I picked up at times. This was when I first won. So
speaking of that, this would be the so we're going so next one, my fourth, Kanye West, the College Dropout. Man, this is, even to this day, bro, like this is still my favorite Kanye West album. After all this time, I still I'll always defend this as his best album, bro. Because like, bro, this era, bro, the same thing, the 2004, bro. Like, bro, you telling me you always, bro, All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, like you woke up seeing that music video on TV. You know what I mean? Like back then, like you getting ready for school or something, or after school, BET, MTV
or something.
MTV, they're playing one of those songs, or Touch the Sky, you know what I mean? Or well, I think I might be tripping. I think Touch the Sky is on late registration. My fault, but but through the wire, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, but for me, I feel like at that point in time too, like that's when, let me see, I'm trying to think, 2004, man, that's like, man, how old was I? How old were we? Because we were in
2004. I mean, it was close to.
You started middle school to
like
2008.
05? Oh no,
we didn't start middle school to 08 because Obama. I remember because Obama 07. No, we started 6th grade in 07.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, in 07 because we started that the end of that summer. So yeah.
So elementary school still didn't even really know music that well, but we still thought it was dope.
but that's my thing though. Like, it's not really even about that, because it's like the fact that we were, listening to this music, you know what I mean? Like it might have been the people who we had around us, a cousin, a brother, or a parent, or friend, or somebody, or you just seen it on the TV, you know what I mean? It's our culture, you know what I mean? So that's how we were just raised, like just hearing this, like hip hop, you know what I mean? so for me, this is one of those albums because for me, I always, I have older cousins and an older brother, so they were already in tune with all these artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you were kind of listening off of them. Basically.
That's how I got into hip hop because especially my cousin, like a couple of them who tuned in, like my cousin Ellie and stuff like that. Like a lot of these guys were already listening to, and they're older. You know what I mean? They're older than me, so they were already in tune and listening to all these guys. So for me, I was just hearing what they're listening to, and then I heard the College Dropout, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, this Kanye West guy is like, you know what I mean? He's going like this is like, like I'm like at the time, bro, like especially a lot of the songs that you look at, like the features, it's just a perfect, like the whole album is just crazy. But especially that Through the Wire, like I clearly remember that song just as a kid, and just falling in love with this album. Like, and I think my brother had the CD, so I'll listen to it. It was just a good time, you know what I mean? Like, just I felt like there was so much good music coming out around this time, and especially Kanye West. Like, that's when like this is his debut album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, this is like the beginning of
an era of Kanye.
An era. You know what I mean? Like, so you look back then, like you knew listening to this album, like this dude was gonna be here to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna be here for a minute. He's gonna be here for a long time.
Because even at this time, like he was already making beats for people. You know what I mean? He was already making beats for certain artists already. Like, so you already knew who he was. But then finally he drops his own album and then just does better than all the albums he helped work on. It's like, come on. You can't ask for something better than that.
Just kind of, that's kind of like what, I mean, if people may have watched the documentary he had, it was kind of just, it showed that insight of just kind of about that. Kind of about that project too, the College Dropout. So how that even came about.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I need to watch it. I have it on my list. I'm about to start watching it.
But yeah, I mean, it get an insight of that. I'm not sharing too much about the whole documentary thing, but yeah, it kind of give you the insight of how that actually all came about.
Yeah. But same thing you were talking about with the other album. You know what I mean? With 50 Cent, like it's just it's just a different time. Like even like I said, like us being young, like this is what we listen to. You know what I mean? Like we just heard it. We hear a song on the radio, we'll see it on TV, where like we just thought it was cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like who's this Kanye West guy? Like who's this 50 Cent guy? Like it was always somebody new that especially because we're kids, but we were in tune like with hip hop from a young age.
Yeah. Yep, that's what people that was older than us was already playing it, so we just kind of started listening to it more and more. But College Dropout, that's a good project though. That's one of my favorites too from Kanye. Definitely one of the first ones. Man, that's crazy. Classic.
Go on to yours. Take this
one. What we got next?
So we got your fourth.
Lil Wayne.
Carter 3.
The Carter 3. Damn. The Carter 3. I remember when I
clearly remember when this dropped.
I don't even remember when it dropped. I was really like just I mean, it came out
you might have been in 6th grade, bro. I'm about to look it up.
It came out in 08. Yeah, it came out June 10th, 08. But like I was just really in Walmart and I was just going through like hip hop albums and I saw like CD and I don't know, I just kind of messed with it. I just saw the cover and I kind of like just grabbed it. I was like, I'll grab it. It's Lil Wayne, Carter 3, and I was like, and I pressed play on it and I was like, man, like it was sounding hard, like just like I was playing it so much, like I was knowing the words from track list to track list, like and Millie was like the biggest record.
Oh man, that was the biggest record.
Like, yeah, because everybody was saying Millie. Like I would be rapping the whole thing, Millie in there, in Nigerian, like just the whole bar for bar on that one, and it was just crazy. And then it was like, the Carter, and then he had Jay-Z on there, I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
he did have Jay-Z on there. That was a good song.
Yeah, on the Mr. Carter. So that that joint was all right, Mr. Carter. Like it was just some timeless songs too. Like you can't get enough of those. And then Millie, Mrs. Officer, wee.
That's hilarious.
But like, my favorite one was Let the Beat Build. Like that joint was hard.
The beat, that's probably one of my favorite songs on there. I like that beat, bro. Like that beat is crazy. That's definitely one of my favorite songs on that album for sure.
Yeah, just the production.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like the storyline of this whole project. Him going through the emotions in life and stuff. Praising all with the deep tracks. And but yeah, this was just like an album that I just wasn't really in tune with Lil Wayne itself. I just kind of was getting into it. I didn't really know him as an artist, but I just felt great about the music. I just liked the way it sounded.
Yeah.
Sonically, I was like, dang, like I could just still play it and still pop it in the CD and just keep playing it. But yeah, I mean, this was like, probably one of my favorite Carters too, to this day too. When I went back to the discography, I'm like, Lil Wayne, the Carter 3, like you just can't really get two misses on here. I mean, the Carter 2 is still.
I mean, you know how I felt about this album.
Yeah,
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the album. I just don't think it. For me personally, just for me, I can only speak for myself. I just don't think it aged. The whole thing, like I'm from like front to bottom, it didn't age well. There's a lot of songs that I'm like, it just didn't. It don't hit as much. Today. But the thing is, I clearly remember the time it came out though. It was like the best thing ever. Like there's nothing, like even me, bro, back then, like you put the Carter 3 on, there's nothing you could say like Lil Wayne's the GOAT, like the GOAT. As a kid I used to think Lil Wayne was like one of like the greatest, like you know what I mean? Yeah. He's still one of the greatest ever. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, no. He has his flaws and like certain things I could dispute, but he's definitely a legend. I knew about Lil Wayne early on too, because like I said, like my older cousins, my brother, etc., like I was listening to Lil Wayne or like some of his mixtapes. Like I knew, like I was in tune to hip hop pretty early. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had a lot of people who I was listening to. I didn't know them like that. Like I didn't know them who they were, but I always knew certain songs and I knew their names. Like I was listening to, like the Carter 2, like the Fireman and all those different songs. Like
Fireman, Money on My Mind.
Yeah, so he had a lot of songs like early. I feel like with us though, like Carter 3 was like, okay, now we really know who Lil Wayne is. You know what I mean? Because like I'm sure you probably might have even heard him before. You know what I mean? Especially if you heard 50 Cent and all that stuff. Like you've heard Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I heard Lil Wayne.
Yeah, like, it might have been like the true introduction to like his catalog. Like, let me go back and see what else he got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was going back. Yeah, because I mean, he had like the first Carter was like Go DJ. It's my DJ.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know you heard it. Like you've had that.
Yeah, I heard of it, but I was just like, this would kind of let me know his his way of style. Like this kind of got me to introduce him in the way the way I like his music. I'm like,
that makes sense.
At the time when I picked up listening to it, I just didn't really know him that well enough to be like, yeah, that's like one of the best artists at that time. I didn't really
was just buying it. You just thinking kind of just like it was just like a random like, damn, I might like hold up, like what is this? Let me listen. Let me give it a listen. Like
let me just give it a listen. I just wasn't.
Man, but don't you miss those times though? like bro, going to a store and you don't know who this is, or you might like. You don't know if the album's gonna be good. You don't know if it's gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, but you had to pick up the CD and buy it and listen to it to determine if the album was gonna be good or bad. Nowadays, you could just kind of give it a little, like, go on Apple Music and skim through it.
Skim through it real quick. Yeah, it's all right. You know, I miss those me. Times, man. It don't hit the same too. I mean, because you really gotta skip the button. You can't go. Like nowadays, like when people listen to music now, it's like they got to they just pick whatever song. They probably looking for the feature. They're like, oh, Jay-Z on Kendrick.
Yeah. Just trying to see who's
they want to listen to that track. Like when you had the CD at that time, You gotta play it through, unless you gotta keep skipping and skipping.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's why I feel like people from from any era, from our era, like from early, from late 90s, early 2000s, and back, we appreciate the albums and we give it a listen.
Yeah,
I feel like the era after us, like everything after us,
people don't appreciate the music.
Not the same respect. Like and I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just talking about in general. Like I'm sure there's a few, there's a few, young kids out there that feel the same way as us, like that love hip hop or got put on by like an uncle or a father or a brother or cousin. So I'm sure they're out there. But for the majority, bro, it's like I feel like the respect just isn't there, especially for some of these legends, like, you know what I mean, like Lil Wayne, Kanye, like all these guys are like legendary like rappers like in the game, Sometimes people don't be given the same respect because everyone has an opinion about something, But yeah, bro, like that feeling though of even now, like when we with the podcast, like we do album reviews, so we always got to listen to the album from front to back. Like that's like a lost art nowadays. Like listen to don't skip. You got to go through the whole thing, bro.
Yeah, go through the whole project and listen to it.
A couple times too. Like you got to listen to it a couple times to actually know if it's good or not.
Yeah, not if it's long or short. Still listen to it all the way through. But I feel like just nowadays though, people just go for the feature and not go for the whole body of the work and appreciate it more.
Or just that one hit song and don't even listen to the rest. It's like, come on.
Like, people listen to a million. That's it.
Or Mrs.
That's
Officer
it on this
like,
project. So.
Right?
I'm like, that's crazy.
Thanks. All right.
But Carter 3. Everybody gotta like that joint.
We got Common. Yeah,
Common. I figured. I was like, at all projects. I was like, man, Common had to come up here somehow, somewhere.
Someone had to pick him, bro. But this one right here, though, bro, this is such a it's such a classic album, but it also like just brings me back, like, same thing, like to this time, because College Dropout was 2004. This one came out 2005. And Kanye West did a lot of production on this album, and Jay Dilla has some beats on here too, like, and it's just one of those classic. I feel like this was my introduction. Let me see. Yeah, I think this might have been my introduction to Common as an artist, because I might have heard his name before.
You just heard his name.
Well, besides, like, because I knew him on the College Dropout, like I heard him on features and stuff like that, but like I don't remember really same situation. How you might have heard how you were talking about, like you might have heard Lil Wayne with like Go DJ and all these different songs, but the first time you picked up the Carter 3, you're like, okay, so this is Lil Wayne.
Yeah, that's Lil Wayne. Yeah,
this was what it was for me with Common. First time I heard this, I'm like, okay, so this is Common. Like, who is this guy? Like. And it's kind of different, I feel like, too, at the time when I heard it, because, like, a lot of artists, it was a lot of gangster rap and a lot of, like, kind of like the drug rap, and it's like different kind of, like, styles. Like, everyone had different styles back then, but then I listened to Common, I'm like, bro, he's like, it's like feels like welcoming. Like, it's like his voice is like soft, what I mean? It's like, what he's talking about, it's like poetry, you know what I mean? Like everything just flows so well and sounded so good, and I was like, bro, this is like a vibe, you know what I mean? So that's why for me this like, and thing is, this is not my favorite Common album.
No, but because he got too many.
yeah, he's got way too many. Yeah, for sure. I think Like Water for Chocolate might be my favorite one, and that one came out, I believe, in 2000. But this is the first one that this was the one that left the impact most, like more of an impact on me, like, or I wouldn't, you know what I mean, to actually listen to other Common songs and like, let me look this dude up, you know what I mean, like, let me go back and listen to more of his music, you know what I mean. So yeah, I've been on, like, that's what I'm saying, like, Common, I feel like I always listen to Common, and he's always been one of my favorite artists. But I would say in the past, like, I want to say from like 2000. Man, I don't know. It's hard to tell because, like, now that we're doing this and I was going through the albums, I'm like, man, I realized how much hip hop I really was listening to as a kid. Like I didn't realize because like obviously like I had older brothers and cousins and stuff like that and listened to them, but like I was like, damn, I was really like low key might be a hip hop head as a kid. And not realizing it because I was listening to all these guys, like, which is crazy to think about as a kid. Of course, a lot of it I didn't probably understand. You know what I mean? Because I'm just a kid, so half the shit you guys be saying, I'm like, it just sounds
probably one ear after the other. Yeah, it was just like,
and I don't even mean like I can't
flow. The beat was fire. Yeah, right. That's it.
But when I started, and like this is one of those albums where sometimes even I go back and I'm like, man, like it was just so good. You know what I mean? Just real rap. Like when you listen to Common, it's gonna be good. But you remember like the song "Go."
Like, the Go, that's like being sampled all the time. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Just classic songs. So this is definitely like one of my introductions as far as like, and I feel like this was like this and College Dropout, et cetera, like those type of albums. I feel like are the albums I like resonated with early on. I always liked that conscious rap stuff with a message, stuff like, you know what I mean, from a young age. And I think that's why I am the way I am now as far as the music I gravitate to. I like hearing those lyrics. I like hearing those messages. I like a good, you know what I mean? So I think just that being instilled in me at a young age made me like look for those artists. Even when I was talking about Dead Prez, like it made me look for those guys. Like where are the other ones at? You know what I mean? Let me go find these rappers. These are the ones I relate with.
That conscious poetry rap. Yeah, like people that are similar to that.
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
can relate for the stories.
Yeah, since a kid, I'm like, I gotta hear more of this, And I feel like this is the type of good music too. Like, I'd rather have, even for my kids, like if I ever had kids, like if I was ever to show my kids like and get them into hip hop, I'm showing them guys like Common and stuff, real music before I ever show them, the other side, of hip hop. Like get into hip hop with this first. Because this is really what it is, you know what I mean? But that's just me. But yeah, bro, classic album, Common, B. Everyone knows what this one is, man. That's a classic.
Yeah, Common is definitely a dope MC. Yeah, people.
He's in my top 5 too. Like he's in my top 5 all time. I don't think he'll ever go.
Dope MC, poetry. I mean, shoot, he's so legendary. Like I always like that video.
He's still making classics.
Yeah, he's still making classes. This is like a little side note, but this is like, I like that video when he had with that one dude. He was doing open mic with I think it was like in New Orleans or something. Some dude was just rapping. He just got on the mic.
Oh, Ray. I think it was Ray Wimley.
Something like that. Yeah, he was just freestyling and like it was just so dope.
You know what's real about that? Common, like a little bit after that, Common took him on Jimmy Kimmel. And freestyle.
I've seen that.
That's like real love, That's real because a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't. He saw potential, saw what he was doing, and they was flowing together. It just felt like they knew each other the way they were doing it. That's why it was so dope.
So Common's a real one, man. People be sleeping. He rapping off the top of their head to people. Common, man, he's a go, bro. He's a legend. For real.
So I mean, that's just legendary for me. Me knowing Common. At that time, just like what he did, but that was just a dope thing Common did at that time.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, shout out to Common, man. All right, let's go on to yours. Number 3, Jayco,
Cold World, the sideline story. Yeah, this shoot, Jayco. For those who don't know, it's probably one of my favorite artists, but
probably.
Those who don't know, he is my favorite artist. But but on the real, Jayco is like this project is when I first like got introduced to Jayco. This is like on BET. I think it was the track. Oh yeah, the track called Who That. That was played on BET. Yeah, like when he had the live the live band in the back, with the fire flaming in the back, like. Who that? I got that flame. Like it was going crazy.
Yeah. Lights, please.
Yeah. Turn off the lights, please.
This might have been my introduction to Jayco too.
Yeah, this was
no. What was the song with Jay-Z on
what, Mr. Nice Watch?
Yeah. No.
You talking about on his project?
Jay-Z's album.
Oh, I forgot the name of it. 3. Yeah, I can't think of the name.
That's the first time I ever heard J. Cole.
Oh, J. Cole. And I think that's the only 2 tracks. Yeah, I think. Well, on this project it was Mr. Nice Watch. That's what I was thinking of. That they had a track to. But
the Star is Born. My fault. That's
Oh yeah. One Love. Yeah. One Star is Born. Yeah, that joint was hard too. But yeah, nah. But the Sideline Story. Yeah, this just kind of got me the cold though. Real deep. I like his I like his charisma, especially on that Who That song. That's what got me into it off the BET video. And then this is kind of like, this is his debut project too. This came out about 2011. 2011 we was like
high school.
2011 we like 8th grade. No,
that's
high school.
We were 8th grade going into freshman year.
Yeah, going to freshman year. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, this one I knew Jayco a little earlier than before the whole mixtapes and all that he had later on. But yeah, this project kind of got me to know him more, and for me, that he persuaded me to love hip hop even more. Just the way he was talking about different problems in this project, just relationships,
relatable.
Family problems. Just relatable, like family problems, fame, tended to be successful, just growing up in a fatherless household, like just all those other different things, and people just relate to it. Some of the records you relate to, so he paves the way for relating to different records on some of the songs. I mean, he got the big songs on there, like that workout song that Nas didn't like. I forgot about that song, and then
let Nas down.
Yeah, let Nas down on that one. Yeah, but shoot, that Missy Elliott song was dope though. Like Nobody's Perfect. Cause that's true,
he has some good songs on here.
Yeah, like Nobody's Perfect, really. And this project was just start to finish, because it was all like that Dollar in a Dream thing he was always persuading in his music. Yeah. Dollar in a Dream, him trying to make it on the basketball team, and it was hard, rough, scrawny kid. Like, man, I know I'm better than these dudes, but I didn't make it to the basketball team. Like, be trying and trying and trying. So he was like, man, just never give up. And like years later, he got into he got into the league. Like, he got into the league. Yeah, African league. So like he was still like,
he was grinding for real.
Yeah, grinding, and like, all the little projects before, like, man, I couldn't get on the basketball team.
Yeah.
Now he in the African league, he was playing for a little bit. Like, like sky's the limit with that. So that just kind of tells you, you can still work hard, for whatever you want to do in life. And with that, like, he was still, stick to it though. Even though it took a while to get into it, because he was doing this other thing with rapping. But now it's like, he had that time where he had a little break, and he was like, yeah, I can still do it. I mean, he still did a chance to do it. So, but yeah, this is, one of my favorites from Cole, and this has just kind of got me introduced to him,
Yeah.
That Dollar in a Dream, the Sideline Story, you see it, basketball around. He was always paving it. So all the ballers around that time, I think all the basketball players were playing J. Cole at that time, just because he was just like, talking to them in a way, like, tracks like Rise and Shine, like, gotta rise and shine, do them workouts early before the sun come up, So
I know this man was on the basketball team. Listen to that. He's like, hold on.
That
J. Cole in the headphones.
Yeah, you gotta play that. Yeah,
that was funny.
Those songs. But Cole, he's doing his thing now. With the Dreamville. Got plenty of the dope artists he came out with. It's crazy 100%. How he got it.
To see his growth, just to see, because we seen him from the beginning, just seeing the growth from growth.
I mean, from being with Jay-Z, having your own thing with Dreamville, having like the credible artists now, like them and like TDE, kind of like a big groups, kind of going head to head to see who's the bigger group. It's kind of competition there with that. So, when they both got a woman artist on their crew, and then they got all the different other artists, other MCs from different neighborhoods and different cities, how they came about, and then they all collab on projects pretty well. So that's just that's a good sign in itself. So like he's doing that well with his label though.
That's a fact. All right, let's go on the next one. So we got my number 2, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt.
Oh, Reasonable Doubt, yeah. I think I had it on there too,
bro. This one right here, bro, like this album for real, like probably held me down for like, especially through high school. Like, because obviously I was always listening to Jay-Z even since I was a kid, you know what I mean? Like from Blueprint, volumes. Like I always listened to Jay-Z when I was younger. But even Reasonable Doubt, I've heard a few songs from Reasonable Doubt. But like I want to say probably in high school is when I really went back and listened to it from and actually understood it, and like from from track 1 all the way to the end. And bro, I probably listened to at one point, I want to say at one point I even did a project on this, like in senior year, like we did in the little public speaking class. I had a project on this album, you know what I mean?
I forgot. I remember that.
I was at one point I was listening to this album every day, like literally every day. I would wake up to for school, whatever, or even if I didn't show, whatever, like I was just listening to this. I was just listening. I would always listen to the album, but I always put it on. Like for a good couple of months, this is probably one of the only albums I was actually listening to. Like I would play it the entire day, bro. Like I would literally listen to it. All right, turn it off, get in the class, whatever. Right when I come in, pop the headphones back in, play another track. Every day, bro. That's all I was listening to. Like I'm telling you, this is literally all I was listening to at one point. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just that special place, for this definitely my favorite Jay-Z album of all time. But something about it, man, I don't even know why I listened to it that much. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just don't know why.
Yeah, at that time, it's just
so much.
It's I like the sound sonically. It just felt well. Bro, I just everything.
But it was just so good, because even just some of the songs, like the wittiness, the lyric, the his lyricism, just his flow, just as an MC. Because especially that's around the time too when I was getting into rap, rapping myself, and that's kind of when I was starting to listen to a lot of the older artists to kind of study, a little bit, study their flows and the lyrics and how to write songs and things like that. And bro, this is one of those albums where I just man, coming of age. And then that's the first time I heard not first time I heard it from this one, but just a lot of different songs that I never heard, you know what I mean, from Jay-Z. Because of course, at that time, I only listened to Blueprint and the Black Album and some of the volumes, you know what I mean? So when I listened to this, that was the first time I was hearing 22 Twos and D Evils and different songs that I'm like, damn, bro, I never even heard this before, you know what I mean?
Feeling it. The one too.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of it's just one of those classic albums for me. That's it will always be. I'll always hold this album high, because I said, it held me down, bro. I was literally listening to this album for a good I don't even know, bro, but it was a long time I was listening to this album just consecutively. Every day I would wake up and just first album I'm listening to is this. That's why I haven't listened to it. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to it in all the way through, probably in a few years, because I was listening to it literally every day.
Too much.
I mean? I was listening too much to the point where I'm all right. I literally haven't listened to Jay-Z like that in a minute because I was playing him so much in high school to the point where I was like, all right, I was like, all right, let me take a break from Jay-Z because I listened to
you had to
way
take
too
a
much
break.
Jay-Z.
You
Yeah.
playing it over and over again. Had on
Yeah,
repeat.
every time I go,
there was so many other projects came out.
Right, but every time I go back, bro, I'm like, it's still the same thing where I'm like, I don't click on this album sometimes because I know if I start it, I'm gonna keep on listening to it. So I'm like, I'm gonna just
you can't even play one track.
yeah,
You start going through the whole project.
I got the CD and everything. Like actually, I think all the albums I picked so far I have the CD too. So
yeah, I think I have a CD for not for everyone. I think did before. No.
Yeah, we're going to your number 2. We take this one off.
2.
Got The Game.
The Game. Documentary.
I know he had this. He
had this like one Kib.
Yeah, he had this as his number 1, and you got it on your number 2.
2 though.
It's that West Coast.
West Coast. I had to put the Game on there, and this is kind of a similar story too. Didn't know about the Game as much. Coming into Walmart, just going through little projects here and there, and like I said, just kind of picked it up. So I just picked it up.
Yeah.
Didn't have no knowledge and nothing about the Game at that time, but just one of those where I press play and I'm like, dang, like I just felt like I just like it was just timeless music too, because he had hits on there. He had like a couple songs with 50. He had that Hate It or Love It,
Yeah, that's a classic.
This how we do it. And then This How We Do It was it was on Midnight Club on a PS2 game. So that kind of got used to playing.
That's not how we do it.
It's how we do.
Yeah, he said. That's hilarious.
Yeah, my bad. I missed on that song, but like, you know what I mean. But that one was that was on Midnight Club and everything, and Hate It or Love It. The video came out of that. That was like a dope video. Hate It, Love It, Dogs Don't Stop.
Yeah.
And he had Kanye on there. He had Kanye, which was dope. But a lot of the songs on there were just kind of real dope sonically. Just real West Coast music. Dr. Dre producing most of it.
And he held it down too. Like,
yeah, he held it down. Like it felt like, like just every beat.
Like for the West Coast, it wasn't really that much like besides of course like guys like Snoop Dogg and stuff like that, but there wasn't like no new, like who's the new guy in the West Coast, you know what I mean, that was like popular. I'm talking about like on a mainstream level. Like the Game was like the first, like in a long time. Like when this came out.
Yeah, this came out. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, what year this came out? This came out like 05. So
is it 05?
Yeah, 05. So I mean, there wasn't a lot of dope.
04.
Came out 04? Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it came out 05. I don't know. I may be wrong. Hey, Kev, I need some help.
Oh no, it came out 05. It came out 05. You're right.
I thought I messed up, but
yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't a lot of dope LA rappers at that time in 05, but Game was really on top with this one. But just the production and just the lyrics and songs on each record, you kind of got attached to him,
Facts. And
him just, growing up in the LA scene, was a whole different thing. Like, especially from Compton. Yeah, working with different rappers and like that. But yeah, this was one of them ones too. I mean, people put this in their top, 10,
Yeah, especially depending when you're from, you know what I mean? Like if you're talking about like
where you're from.
Especially like I know like even like people on the West Coast and stuff like that, like this is definitely like if you have a list of like West Coast albums too, you know, like this is definitely one of the ones that you gotta put in there. You know what I mean? Like this and you know, Doctor's Advocate. Like, you know, you could debate, you know, which one is better, but like,
yeah, that's
you know, like the game was doing this thing, like especially for the West Coast, like there wasn't, like I said, that mainstream guy like that was new in the West for a minute. You know what I mean? Because all you were hearing was just, you know, guys coming from all different places. And the game,
from the
you
East
know,
Coast,
with this album just took over. Like it just, you know, instantly became like, you know, like you said, #1 hits. You know, like you're seeing the music videos like everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's out the game, man. Definitely.
Yeah, there wasn't. It's a classic. I see. That's why a kid put Doctor's Advocate and then Documentary on the same list. He couldn't pick and choose because he's like, you know, I would say like, yeah, that's a classic. Or, you know, some people may say it's not a classic. You know, some people really didn't feel it as much, but yeah, he definitely caused a wave of the scene of the LA around that time because he was the biggest out there at the time, 2005.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put your honorable mentions first. So, got your honorable mentions. You know, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Of course, I just picked that. That was my number 2. And then Dr. Dre. When you picked The Chronic, were you talking about Dr. Dre like the first one, or are you talking about 2001?
The Chronic, yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
this was anything about the.
Hold on, but I was putting the Chronic though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the second one, but Reasonable Doubt though. That's just I like, you know, Feeling It. That was a dope record on there as well. That I liked. You know, Jay-Z kind of just had a nice. He was kind of like the biggest artist around that time in the early '90s too. I was doing it big, especially with his projects.
False. But you know, it's crazy. He wasn't like even at this time, bro. Like this album ended up becoming bigger, like a little bit after. Because at that time you had like. Yeah, like you still had like, you know, Nas,
Illmatic,
Wu-Tang. Like like there was tons of artists that were actually bigger than Jay-Z when this album came out. Like it wasn't as big when it came out because there was so much good stuff out at that time. But then later, Reasonable Doubt ended up becoming like one of his biggest like all-time hip-hop albums a little bit after. Like it was one of those things that was like, it just happened later, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was.
He started popping like 98. Like I would say like 98.
Yeah, close around that time.
Yeah. But like I'm talking about like on like a mainstream level.
Mainstream, yeah.
Yeah.
Like people heard of him, but they wasn't playing him that much at that time.
Yeah. But like people knew who he was, but like I said, like you still had, you know, Biggie, etc. So like you still had a lot of these other artists who were bigger, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of other dope ones, but yeah, you know, Reasonable Doubt was just one of my favorites around the '90s. Like, I didn't get attached to it as much as you did. There was a few records on there that I liked the most. You know, Dr. Dre, The Chronic. He just kind of had he paved the way to LA scene around that time. I mean, people were sampling his songs, and you know, especially like his production and all that. Like, just to have that West Coast and LA sound pretty well. I mean, and I mean that's just like, you know, iconic project, you know, from track list to track. You know, The Chronic just kind of, it made some of the new artists to this day kind of paved his sound. You know, there's just a lot of people, and this is his debut, so this is how we got a chance to really know Dr. Dre.
Yeah, outside of
NWA and all that, but yeah, this is one of a dope kind of production wise for me. it's kind of what sonically. That's why it's my honorable mention.
All right. Then I do mine before I go to my number one. My honorable mentions. I'll start with G Unit, Beg for Mercy. I had to pick that one on it because honestly, it was kind of a mix between this, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, or Lloyd Banks, The Hunger for More. Because at that time too, like, and I think I ended up picking this one because when I was going back and listening to it, I was like, man, like, I just remember the time, like, even like my cousins, like people like that, like listening to this, like to this album specifically. Like I remember seeing the music videos, Stunt 101, etc., like all these different songs. And I remember like all those albums, just hearing them, but I feel like this is the one that stuck with me the most because that's when I truly, like, that's when that was just the whole thing, bro. Like when G Unit came out, like, bro, you had the clothing, the clothing brand. Like I remember I had like a pair of jeans or something like that, like some G Unit
jeans that had like a jersey or something.
Yeah, like everyone want to be like, especially when this album dropped, bro. Like it was like the hottest like thing ever. Like you're like, bro, I gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
everyone,
fashion wise,
yeah,
trendsetting,
like it, the straight classic. Like because I think my brother had the CD too, so I'm like thinking, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like one of the only little kids, like, at school listening to like all this music. So I'm like, bro, like this is crazy. But then Kiss the Game Goodbye, that is like one of my all-time favorite albums ever, and that's his debut album outside the Locks. But that was tough because this one was tough for me because I was gonna switch Common, B, and that was actually my honorable mention first, and Kiss was up there. But then the more I was trying to think which one really impacted me more, but Common, that album impacted me more, and this Kiss was more like I listened to that album. Like the funny thing is I probably listened to the album more than I listened to B, but B just impacted me more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at that time, man.
Yeah, but this one of those albums was just like, We Gonna Make It, like all this classic songs, bro. Like every single beat on there is like, and the thing about this album, like most of the beats that are on there are like a lot of the freestyle beats, like a lot of the beats that people be freestyling, like that you hear now, like on like the radio and different freestyle. Most of those, a lot of those beats are from this album. Like he has his classic songs on here, just tons of classics. Like
We Gonna Make It. Yeah, that's that one that stuck out to me on that one.
That's probably like one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, bro. Like ever. Like I don't think there's not a lot of songs I would put over that. Like if you played that song, like even if you were showing someone hip hop for the first time, like show me a song. Like that's like We Gonna Make It is like one of those, like, let me show you this. Like you put that on, you have if you don't like it after that, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Like I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, seriously. You didn't like that song?
Facts. Slap yourself, knock yourself out. But and that's another song.
That's another song.
Hey, that was alley. Was like, knock yourself out.
Knock yourself.
Slap yourself. That's hilarious. But yeah, I'll go on to my number one. Man, Ludacris, Word of Mouth.
Bro. He had to put Ludacris. I was like, oh yep, that's another artist that Brad be talking about all the time. Like, Ludacris.
Honestly, bro, when I really because obviously I knew hip hop and like listened to hip hop, but like when I really like look back and try to think like my start of actually listening to hip hop, like what do I remember the most? Ludacris might be the first artist that I actually was like I don't know, first time I ever heard him or seen him. Like I said, even my cousin, like he has a story about this too. Like he even like when he would like babysit me or whatever, like because this came out in 2001, so he'll always he'll be playing this album, and I was always just like just watching, you know what I mean, like
it's just bobbing his
so
head,
he even stuff like from them, like he knew like I was already like Ludacris, like I had to get this, like I need the CD, I need everything, you know what I mean, everything Ludacris, I gotta be like, I need all this stuff. So like especially I just remember hearing like Saturday, that's like I remember hearing that like I think that might have been one of the music videos I heard. Like that might have been one of the first like music videos like I said, I heard hip hop songs, but when I think back, like what's my clearest memory of me listening to hip hop? It always ends with Ludacris, because I can't think past that. You know what I mean? Like Ludacris is probably the first artist. He's my first favorite hip hop artist. This is like the first actual like hip hop album I probably ever listened to, and like that's just like the start. Like that's why he's always gonna be my top 5. Like I can never go take him out. Like I don't care who it is, what artist could be better, this and that. Like Ludacris will always be my top 5, because that's basically like my introduction into hip hop. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for you and my cousins playing that, bro, like I don't.
You wouldn't spend your mind with hip hop.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't know. And especially like the music videos, bro. Like
the music videos. I mean, even look at the cover. The cover says it.
Yeah, you look at the cover, like, bro, like no one who's doing that. You know what I mean? Especially at that time, like, you know, there's a few. Like I remember seeing Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott. Like I remember, because I think as a kid, a lot of what I remember is music videos, because I could remember seeing the TV and just watching these crazy music videos, and those were like some of the artists I remember seeing. And I'm like, bro, like, but Ludacris for some reason was like, that just stuck with me. You know what I mean? Like you just got that one artist that you just hear and instantly like that's the guy. Like that's my favorite. Like like whoever that is, that's my favorite. You know what I mean? So that's how it was as a kid, bro. Like Word of Mouth is probably like my favorite. Like that's in my top 5 favorite albums, because like it's that impact. You know what I mean? Like every time I listen to it, I feel like it's just that nostalgia. Yeah, even my cousins, my brothers, like everyone could vouch for this. Like I think like people who know me as a hip hop fan know that Ludacris is probably like my like all time like favorite artist. Like if I even with music, bro, like we got to get him on a podcast. Like I need to meet this man. I need a feature. You know what I mean? Like I need all that. Like that's like bucket list. Like you know what I mean? That's like bucket list stuff, bro. I would say Ludacris. One of the honorable mentions I was gonna pick too was I'm not even gonna lie. I was gonna pick Bow Wow, Unleashed. Because like the only reason I was gonna pick that is because at that time, bro, like you couldn't separate me from the album. Like I remember my brother used to make fun of me for it. He'd be like, bro, why are you listening to this Bow Wow album? Like and I thought it was like the best thing ever, bro. So I was gonna put it on there, but the other 2 albums I feel like I'd rather just put that there. But I'm not even gonna lie, I would say like those I should have put that on there, but we'll probably put it on if we do like a part 2. I'll probably put it on there. But yeah, bro, those probably like the main 2 like at that time. Like Ludacris and Bow Wow were like the 2 people I was like that really introduced me into like hip hop. You know what I mean? Like as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then of course I started hearing other music and this and that. But this is like early, like when I'm like 4 years old type shit, like 4 or 5. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like this is before I'm even like able to like know who these guys are.
To know what he's talking about.
This is just those are like the first 2 I remember really being like, oh, okay, so this is what hip hop is. You know what I mean? So that's what it was for me, man. Shout out Ludacris. I'm about to listen to the album when we off.
Shout out Ludacris. You got area codes on there. Yeah,
man, bro, that's such a class. That's like
you get some features on there.
Album,
Twister.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's got literally everything. That's even the move, get out the way. Like bro, that's everyone plays that to this day. That's probably like one of the most played songs, like on memes and all these different you know movies. What I mean? Like you play that movie, everything, bro. You play that song now, everyone's gonna go crazy.
It's a big
roll out. You know what I mean?
Roll out.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like he's literally, bro. Everyone knows. That's one of the ones right there. So shout out Ludacris, bro. But yeah, we're going to your number 1. Rest in peace to one of the GOATs, Notorious B.I.G.
Rest in peace, Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die project. Yeah, this is this sonically, this is like one of my favorite projects ever. I got introduced with my pops. Actually introduced me to this project like way back. Like he was playing it all the time in the whip, in the car, you know, popping in the
That's
CD
fire.
and stuff.
That's
And
dope.
yeah, he was like, yeah, Biggie's like, you know, one of my favorite artists too. You know, over Tupac, you know, Biggie and Tupac, you know, that's a big old like, you know, he said,
One of
she
those little
said,
hip
like,
hop debates. Yeah.
yeah, hip hop debates, kind of like, you know, who you think is a better artist.
My switches all the time.
Yeah, it switches barely, but yeah, he got me into Biggie real early. You know, around the middle school time. But you know, Ready to Die project was, yeah, it was a good, just, you know, the struggles in the song. Yeah, just classic. Just, you know, I didn't even live in the East Coast of New York, but you know, I felt the New York struggle. I felt like all that Harlem struggle that he was going through.
Yeah.
Like around that time in the 90s, like just even watching those old movies in the 90s, it's just about all that, like the drugs and like, you know, getting all that money and all everything, just, you know, people out there hustling on the corners and everything. Like you just kind of felt that into that music.
Yeah,
and
like he paints a good picture.
Yeah, he just paints like pictures of it like so vividly. Like it's just crazy. And like, you know, basically I like the hits too on there, you know. Big Papa's like the that's like one of the hits on there. Like you play always, people always like, if people watch Hardball, they will always know like that song. Like when Keanu Reeves was like drunk in the movie or whatever, and like like Big Papa,
yeah, that's hilarious, bro.
You know that
Hardball,
song.
that's a classic movie, man. I forgot about that.
Like every time I think of that, I always tell people like, oh yeah, you seen Hardball, like things with G Baby and all the kids and everything. So like, you know, that was a big record. And you know, I'm glad, you know, they came out with a movie with Notorious B.I.G., especially that one with Tupac.
They just had the documentary too, right?
They had
I never watched
on Netflix.
They
had another one. Yeah, I still like the movie, you know, about his life as well. Kind of paint a picture of like how everything was when he was growing up, into, you know, fame and all the way to, you know, he got shot and killed. So
rest in
car.
Peace, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. But nah, Biggie was, you know, big MC around the East Coast. You know, that East Coast, West Coast music, but you know, them and Tupac going head to head. But yeah, Ready to Die was one of the ones, you know, shoot, from Suicide Thoughts. Like that was a big record. Like
Who Shot You?
Who Shot You? Yeah.
Or am I tripping? Is that even on Ready to Die?
Nah,
sometimes I be forgetting.
It is. I ain't even gotta look, and I know it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're probably right.
I played it all the time.
Yeah, Who Shot You? Yeah, because I used to listen to that all the time.
Was on there.
And then what? Method Man. Method Man's the only person featured on the album.
Yeah, I know. I thought there was no features on there too, and I forgot.
That's what's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, shout out to Method Man, bro.
Yeah,
and that's that, bro. And it's funny because like, while you say this was another one of those ones that like I remember just listening to heavy, because like a lot of these albums, like, you know, but like remember like back in middle school, bro, I was probably like one of the only people that like had like, I don't remember, you know, if you remember that blue iPod. I used to have this blue iPod, bro.
Yeah, the Nano.
Middle school, bro. From 6th grade, like I was probably like one of the only people, because I knew there's a few people that listen to hip hop and like new guys, like even Caleb, like he knew some hip hop, like even then. But like, bro, I was 100%, I know for sure, even like with 8th graders, etc., like I know for sure, bro, I was one of the only people. I'm gonna say one of the only people because I don't know 100%, but I can say, I guarantee you there was no one else in that school at that time from the West Coast in San Diego with this Jay-Z, Slum Village songs, DMX songs, the Lock songs, Currency, Nipsey, like all these guys on an iPod, bro, in middle school, like in 6th grade, as this little kid. That's what I'm saying. That's why everyone was listening to like iPod, like just like no one was listening to any of this stuff, and I was
Yeah,
like
the
the only one listening
gems.
to it.
Yeah, the gems were early. He had the iPod Nano. I couldn't even
Dipset
get.
anthem on the iPod. Bro. I still have the iPod. I actually just bought a charger on Amazon because I'm trying to see if it still works.
Oh dang!
Bro, if it still works, I'm
you
showing
still
it
add
on.
music to it.
Bro, I'm literally gonna show on the podcast, bro. I'm about to be like, look, I'm
You
not
about to
lying.
show that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna tell people like they probably gonna be
Iconically,
like,
this is when I was playing my
he doesn't listen
music.
to middle school. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, watch. I'm gonna show you on my iPod. I'm gonna get this thing charged. I'm gonna put it on the podcast and be like, look, scroll through it. I'm gonna show you what I got.
I couldn't even show people that. I'm trying to think how I was listening to music. It was all through the internet. I think I didn't have an iPod at the time. I think I was just listening through it on my phone.
Yeah, because I got the iPod for my birthday. For my
I
think when I turned I don't know how old, but I remember I got the iPod, bro, and like that iPod like changed my life. Like bro, because it was like, damn, I could just like I could go on iTunes and just you're telling me, I could go, I used to do the
LimeWire,
and,
yeah, I was about to say.
and then YouTube to MP3 converter.
Oh,
so like I used to do that, bro.
Try to get the legal way to the music.
They about to arrest me for downloading music illegally.
Yeah, downloading music. That was way back. Yeah.
And that was such a good time, bro. Like, man, I'm telling you, bro,
that just to get the music.
These kids don't know about that, man. Like the struggle, bro. Because sometimes you even look up a song and it'll be like, you'll look up, say Notorious B.I.G. Suicidal Thoughts, and then it's like a random song, like bro, it wouldn't even like it'll be someone trying to like get their music out, you know what I mean? It's like this ain't it. Like,
they try to have people listen to their song, but switch
I'm like, bro,
titles,
and I'll be so pissed because I'm like, bro, this is not what I was looking for.
Ain't even me. Yeah.
But that's what made it fun though. Like, man, like.
Oh yeah, just like to download music and to play it and all that.
I felt like just that era back then, because I know you were one of those people, like even with some of these albums, like I know for sure we'll talk about it more on our next video when we do the mixtapes. But shoot, I'll just take this off because we pretty much finished it up. But like I know we're talking about in the mixtapes, because some of the mixtapes I seen that you picked and some of the ones that I picked, like, are in the era when we were in high school, bro. Like I know you, and there was probably a couple other people that I know that every day we were looking for the next, like, what's the what's the next mixtape? Who's this next artist? Oh, like pinning people on, like, hey, bro, like, hey, did you listen to, you know what I mean? Did you listen to that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I'm telling you that it was just, I don't know, man. It's just a good time. Like, I feel like it's a lot of good memories, like, with music, because like. Man, like every day, like, going Dat Piff or Hot New Hip Hop or Two Dope Boys, and like I remember like a whole bunch of different websites, like
Hot New Hip Hop,
my mixtapes, like, and I remember there wasn't that much people back then that used to like really know, like, like me and you would be like on Dom Kennedy early, like we knew a lot of like dope artists that like early, you know what I mean? Because we were searching for music every day, like we were. What's the new songs that are coming out today? Like every single day, bro, we were looking up music. Like,
we was on that all the time.
Man. But there was so much good mixtapes too. Like, it's just, man, I don't know, man. It's just that time. It's time just not
is
like
different
that no
now.
more, man.
Find different music nowadays is not the same.
That's just kind of making me sad right now.
It got me the reminiscent mode right now. I'm reminiscing about that time right there.
Now I be knowing how some of them old heads feel, bro. Like.
It's different.
Man. Imagine telling your kid one day or something like, yeah, we used to have to, buy CDs to really know if the album was good or not. Like,
they would have to they have to find out, play it for themselves. Like, look, man, shoot, this is like one of the good projects, bro, you gotta play it.
I'm gonna tell you off camera, bro, but I know a place to buy. I like to get like some CDs, but I'm gonna tell you off camera because I don't want people. You know what I mean? Shocking my, you know what I mean? I don't want people. Yeah. This is secret. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's it, man. So 5 albums that made us love hip hop. You know what I mean? This was part 2. Once again, this will be uploaded soon, and then I'll pick Caleb's in the description. So watch Caleb's video. then watch ours. This is the part 2 of it. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments 5 albums that made you love hip hop. And all that. Yeah, man. Comment on ours, like any of the albums that we named, if they have a special, place in your heart, all that good stuff, or they left an impact on you. Let us know in the comments, and man, we want to hear you guys, and have that conversation, have that dialogue, so we could, speak. Because I want to see what other people say. Some people, we have a vast audience, for us, from younger kids and older people. So it's like some people might be saying, some artists from like early 90s, and some might be saying some oh, this album hit me on from like 2015 or something, so yeah, so we like to hear all of it. And just a hip-hop community, like it's a good place. So yeah, man, that was fun.
That was
we definitely gonna have a lot more of these,
definitely, like, share, comment. We definitely want to hear your opinion on those.
Subscribe.
Also subscribe to the channel as well if you're not. Hit that like button, hit that smash button, hit the notifications.
Yeah,
for the next video when we drop.
Hey, man, but yeah, that was fun, man. So once again, 5 albums that made us love hip hop. We had Darneezy with his 5, Mc.K, me with my 5. Facts, rest in peace to DMX, man. But yeah, man, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.